system and you get a silhouette and a hoodie. Nothing identifiable. Vantage installs cameras that read a face in total darkness, and they don't stop at cameras. Access control, network, intercom, cabling, AV. One company, one number. Ready to invest in real security for your business or property? Call Vantage at 720-366-7759 or visit business.vssicolorado.com today.
Robbie Dino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled over 7,000 cases, 300 trials. Let's face it, divorce is really impactful. You may have a controlling spouse. You may have a violent spouse. You may have been a victim of a domestic violence. You may be wrongfully accused of domestic violence. This all affects parenting rights. And let's face it, the kids are the most important. These are the things that need to be handled. They need to be handled appropriately by someone that's going to protect your kids and protect your rights. Hit me up at BeatTheDA.com, 720-706-5151.
Hey guys, you avoiding photos, not feeling confident in your clothes anymore? Maybe you just don't feel like yourself. At Colorado Fat Loss, we help people lose 20 to 40 pounds naturally in about 60 days. It's time to get your confidence back. Schedule a free consultation call at coloradofatloss.com. Results may vary.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station, 104.3 The Fan.
Mike and Dante rolling on a Friday night. Glad you are along for the ride on Denver Sports Tonight. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. Also, the YouTube chat is powered by Champ Honda. I want to talk a little baseball, Dante. We know the Rockies have been much more competitive. They are actually trying to dig out of the cellar in the National League West, and we're looking good in that regard until the Giants put it on them. The Rockies, for as competitive as they've been, are still 20 games under 500 at 39-59. And they are not, at this point, the worst team in baseball. The Royals and Angels are 38-59. So it's been a lot of improvement in the most basic of ways, and yet the job is just getting started for DePodesta, Burns, and this front office. And that leads us to the trade deadline coming up August 3rd in Major League Baseball. And to go along with the trade deadline, because it's not just about this year, it's about who are the core Rockies moving forward, knowing that the turnaround, the work to turn this team around is just getting started. Let's start with one guy. What do you do with Hunter Goodman? Two-time All-Star in his fourth year, second sort of primary year, if you will. Played 144 games last year at a premium position in catcher. And this year, another All-Star appearance, 27 bombs, 51 RBIs through 90 games. So the pace with the batting average isn't quite as high, but the pace in the productivity numbers, the power numbers, certainly there. Would you, if you were the Rockies, say he is a core piece, he is going to get a long-term extension, and I know the upcoming labor issues are going to affect the timing of deals most likely, so we're ignoring that for a moment and just going on what would be a normal timetable, normal time frame, ignoring the fact that there's labor unrest on the horizon. Would you give Hunter Goodman a long-term 5, 6, 7-year deal right now?
Well, that's what I was about to say. What do you do with him? It's not only do you not trade him, it's you sign him to a 7-year, $120 million extension, and you give him a deal like Chase Burns just got with Cincinnati, maybe even a little bit more on there, just because Hunter Goodman has a longer track record of doing what he's been doing at the big league level here. I mean, his OPS is in the 800s as a catcher. That's really hard to find, Mike, and you know that, where productivity particularly at shortstop and catcher, obviously you want those guys to be incredibly defensively sound, and if you get any offensive pop on top of that, those are the kind of guys you want to keep in the organization for a really long time.
Yeah, and here's the interesting part of that. I mean, as much as we know there's a lot of work for the Rockies to do, I mean, Goodman's 26 years old right now. If you put a 7-year deal in front of him, you cover the 3 arbitration years, And so you're down the road a piece. I don't know that you get 7. You might get 5 or 6 and buy out the first couple of years of free agency. And that's in large part going to take him through what is normally a baseball player's prime years. Prime productivity is up until that 32, maybe 33, age 33 season. So does he want to do that and commit that long term? Because he's going to get a boatload in arbitration given what he's done this year and last year. If he does, I absolutely would put a 6-year deal in front of Hunter Goodman at an average of, start with roughly 20, maybe 20 to 25 million. That position, because here's another factor. You mentioned the defense, an up the middle position, and you're still looking to build a pitching staff, and you've got an experienced guy behind the plate who is going to be the one who leads those young pitchers.
Yeah, that's a great point on top of it is you're hoping to build a pitching staff here in Colorado where it'll probably be mostly remade 2 years from now outside of a guy like Chase Dollander, hopefully bounces back from Tommy John well here. But most of those guys are guys that we don't even know who they are yet. And you want a stable catcher at that position. So I 100% agree. If you can get him in that $20 to $25 million range, I'm all for keeping Hunter Goodman here for the long haul.
Is Ezequiel Tovar a core guy for the Rockies? And if you were DePodesta or Burns and got calls from organizations inquiring about Tovar's availability, would you seriously listen?
I would, but I don't think you're getting too many calls on Tovar. I mean, he's been mostly pretty bad this year and last year going back as well. He had the injuries a year ago, but that's not a point in his favor necessarily. So I think you'd listen to calls, and if you got an offer that's like, hey, this is something we can't turn down, absolutely you pull the trigger, but I imagine teams are going to lowball you on Tovar at this point.
Yeah, and I know the defense probably, I think this would be fair to say, probably isn't what the Rockies had expected out of Ezequiel this year, as well as the offensive dip. But I don't think they're going to get blown away by an offer. I think you listen. If I'm anyone in the front office with any pull, I listen, and if it is too good to refuse, I wouldn't be afraid to make that deal, but I also wouldn't be in a rush to make that deal. Ezequiel Tovar's 24 years old, and while he's already played in over 500 major league games and has had some success, I think you have to be careful about pulling the trigger and cutting bait too soon with him. And given the fact that he's in year 2 of his 7-year deal, it's something like that. I think you could bank on some improvement. That's what I would think the Rockies are banking on.
Yeah, I think you don't sell low. You wait to see what you have in him at this point. He's not making an exorbitant amount of money as far as being a starting shortstop at the MLB level, and he's good enough defensively to make it make sense for him to still be in the lineup in 7, 8, 9 hole, and you hope that he can turn the offense around going forward, but I'm a little pessimistic when it comes to that. But even if you have a really strong defensive shortstop, that's something that you can build a roster around, especially with the way this lineup has looked for the Rockies. There's a lot of other guys batting where it makes this lineup pretty dangerous, 1 through 9, and they are top 5 in a lot of hitting categories in baseball. So I think you can hide him enough in the lineup if you continue to get good defensive production from him.
Average value of the contract per year, $9 million. And this year he's at 5.2. Next year he goes to 8.2, which is still pretty affordable. I don't think I'm open, and I wasn't open in the past, but I'm not anxious to say, oh, we've got to find somebody else there. I think it's too early for that.
I also will add on though, I don't think that you have that position locked up for the next 10 years,
Fair.
Like how we thought 2 years ago the Rockies did, where it's like, hey, we know who the shortstop's going to be for this Rockies team for a long time. I think you reopen that discussion. If you have a stud coming up in the minor leagues and he happens to play shortstop, you're not thinking about trading that guy. You're not thinking about holding him back just because you have Tovar there. If you find a better option, I would be open to that as well.
I think a couple of the other core pieces, especially when you look at the pitching staff, Chase Dollander, despite the injury, that guy, he's part of the future. I think you could. I'd be pretty comfortable putting Gabriel Hughes in that mix, at least right now. That's not a guy that I'm anxious to see the Rockies deal here at the deadline. But guys named Jake McCarthy and Mickey Moniak, I mean, these are Antonio Senzatella probably. I mean, those are guys that this is the business of baseball that stinks, and because those guys have had great years, but they are not guys that are going to figure in, I don't think, into the Rockies' future 5, 6, 7 years from now. And so they are absolute trade candidates. And the fact that McCarthy has played like he has and increased his value to teams in contention, and Moniak the same thing, has sort of settled himself as a big leaguer and shown he can be a productive player. I think that's a bonus to the Rockies as they look and get closer to the deadline and look to see what kind of value those guys could bring back.
Yeah, and Moniak's a little bit more on the fence for me, where I would like to see him in Colorado long term. He finally figured it out. Obviously, there's a bunch of talent there. You don't get drafted 1-1 by accident. And he struggled in Philly, he struggled in Los Angeles, but he's found a home here in Colorado. I could see him wanting to be in Colorado and be a part of this turnaround, be a part of this core. So I a little bit more on the fence with him, but McCarthy I think is somewhat replaceable going forward. Senzatella replaceable going forward as well. So those kind of guys I'm ready to pull the trigger on. Moniak I'd be a little more reserved with.
Okay, and that's a good point. I like that. And when I look at his contract structure right now, he still has one more year of arbitration. I could see you could sell me on he's at a 1-year, $4 million deal. He avoided arbitration this past year when he agreed with the Rockies. And I don't know, you give him 6.2, you give him a bump. I could go along with that because he's not a free agent until 2028, after next year. Interesting times for the Rockies. Let's just hope the improvement continues to step forward and that they continue to get better, because we need a winning baseball team around here. LeBron James is holding the NBA hostage. That's next.
They're back. Our free limited edition Training Camp 2026 t-shirts. We currently have drops at various Santiago's Mexican restaurants across the metro area. Limit 1 per person while supplies last. For more details and to find the location nearest you, head to DenverSports.com/shirt.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's home selling season. And what's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Low ball offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with an Orchard agent. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale. Their local agents help you sell on market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front to buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then, once you're settled in, your Orchard agent helps you sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one customer said. I went under contract within 24 hours of my home listing, which was amazing. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at ColoradoRLE.com. Cutarelli Vision RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. ColoradoRLE.com.
This segment on The Fan brought to you by Denver Roof Pros.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
All right, the NBA is being held hostage. Dante's fine with it.
That's not what I said.
Commissioner Adam Silver said the league cannot finalize the 26-27 schedule until LeBron James decides where he'll play. Quote, we have to finish up the schedule, and where LeBron plays affects the schedule. It will influence how we set the schedule, opening week, Christmas. So I need him to make a decision. End quote. He's not wrong in what he said. I think it's a bad look when the commissioner of a major sports league basically calls out the face of the league And I think it's just totally unnecessary. If you're Adam Silver, what are you doing, man?
I don't get that. He is LeBron James. He's going to have so many eyeballs on him. You want to try to maximize whatever team he's on with national televised games, opening night, Christmas Day games.
We're talking about two different things, though. You're talking about, is he right in what he said? Yes, he's right. I'm talking about, why would you say that publicly?
What, Mike? This is professional sports. We don't have to. It's not.
No, it's
a
not.
meritocracy.
It's not just how these guys are treated matters. If you're the commissioner of the league and you go to LeBron James, if he's that important, why wouldn't you just call him and go, Bron, Rich Paul? I mean, come on. You know we're waiting on you. And just publicly, you're feeding into the fact that LeBron's doing exactly what he did before he went to Miami, just packaging it differently. I don't get why a commissioner would do this.
I don't have a problem with it. Again, it's professional sports. It's not even. The New Orleans Pelicans shouldn't have as many national television games as whatever team LeBron James is on.
I agree.
It's not fair, and that's just the way it's going to be. And you should try to put LeBron James, especially if it's his final year of playing NBA basketball, on as many national televised games as possible, on Christmas Day games as if you can, all of the above. And I don't think it's a bad look to admit that out loud. I think everybody can admit that.
I think it just puts a star player, like maybe the star player.
Do you think it sounds like he's giving him special treatment?
No,
it's not like he's like,
no.
Oh, we need to make whatever team he goes to their schedule easier.
Why do you think going public with a statement like that is going to make LeBron make his decision sooner? If anything, it's going to be like, oh, okay, well then maybe I'll just take an extra
I actually thought it
week.
was relatable from Adam Silver being like, yeah, you guys all want to know. I also want to know.
I would not have said that publicly.
I don't have a problem with it.
All right. Good discussion. We might pick that one up once it's all resolved.
Well, maybe he's signed by on Monday.
Maybe he is. Maybe he goes, you're right, Adam. I'm going to make my decision.
It would be
this
very
week.
LeBron James to do it during the World Cup final on Sunday. Like, oh, you guys all care about that? Let me show you something.
I think he would want the spotlight all to himself. We shall see. Dante, always fun. Enjoy the boating this weekend.
Thank you. I will. Hopefully I don't get too burnt. We'll see on Monday.
Yes, well, we will indeed. Make it a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. That's